NBC's coverage of NASCAR Nextel Cup Series racing is brought to you by Discover Card. It pays to discover. By Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance. By Subway. Living well and eating well is about making choices. We're glad we're one of them. Subway. Choose well. And by Budweiser. It's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser. The race is on.
Mark Martin leads the Pop Secret 500 for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series here at the California Speedway, coming up on the 200-mile mark of this race. Mark leading Elliott Sadler by 2.7 seconds. Casey Kane is third. Jamie McMurray fourth. Joe Nemechek is into the fifth position. 36 cars on the lead lap.
I think that's where you want to run, BP, because if you're running anywhere behind a car with all this trash blowing around, you have the danger of something winding up on the front of your grill.
And Mark Martin's grill very, very clean. Not a lot of opening in that grill for air to go through and cool the water. You know, we keep talking about all that trash on the grills, and Wally, you pointed out on the caution, on the commercial break, the infield right in front of us is covered with debris.
Yeah, look at all that. That's right next to the racetrack, and a lot of times you can see it's blown back across the racetrack, especially when the cars come by, and it picks it up and it throws it up. And
afternoon breeze is blowing a pretty fair piece. The flags are blowing a good bit, so I don't remember that being a huge problem here at this racetrack in the past. So maybe it's just
now there's not a whole lot you can do when you're driving because you're concentrating on the race cars in front of you. But look at BP; it looks like you're you can't see anything.
That's right.
So trying to dodge overheating, just another obstacle here for the teams and drivers in their journey to a 500-mile checkered flag. Elliott Sadler, 2 and 8/10 seconds behind leader Mark Martin in second. Talked about Elliott really determined to get a good finish here and try and lock himself in a spot in that race to the chase. Matt?
And he's never finished better than 21st here in Fontana, having an awesome run. Now, when the 9 car of Casey Kane was all over the back of Elliott trying to get that debris off, Elliott came on the radio to his spotter, Brett Griffin. What is the 9 car doing? He goes, oh, I forgot to tell you. He's got debris. He's trying to use you to get it off. He goes, please let me know next time if something like that's going to happen. I had no idea.
Hey, Matt, what is it 38 saying anything about his temperature? Because now he's got a big old piece of trash on his grill.
Wally, he's been telling his team for about the last 15 laps, water temperature about 240 degrees.
And that's exactly what he's doing, trying to push a 9 car, hoping that
and there it is.
He blew it off. Got a baby. Matt.
And he was going to try to use the 9 car back to get the debris off his car.
And the reason why they're saying, hey, let me know what that driver's doing, because if you don't know what he's doing, you think the guy's just messing with you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you want to make sure that, hey, if that's all they're trying to do, okay, but I don't want the guy messing with me.
Marty.
Same song, about 10th verse for Jamie McMurray, water 250. He asked Lauren Ranier, his spotter, to talk to the cars around him. Casey Kane and Elliott Sadler, they think he get behind them, try and pull the debris off his grill. He said the track needs to be blown, but there's so much wind out here that it's not going to matter. Just going to fill up with trash again. Bill?
Marty, as I'm sure you know, up and down pit road, crew chiefs are asking their drivers to take an extra look at their gauges because you get so intense in racing, sometimes you don't look at those gauges and you don't know you're about to overheat. So the crew chiefs are reminding the drivers, watch your temperatures.
Rusty Wallace gives up 10th position and comes to pit road. And this would be pretty early for this would be an unscheduled stop.
Well, they just pulled off a piece of trash off the grill. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the tire carrier on the front of the car pulled off a big piece of paper.
And that's on his way to Rusty's pit. We'll get the follow-up report there in just a minute. So an unexpected story here today, overheating race cars.
And boy, that's frustrating because you can't do anything about it as a driver. You're sitting there watching that temperature gauge other than try to get in front of somebody and knock it off. But if you can't get it off, you have to come down pit road, Matt.
Well, Elliott Sadler, whose water had climbed to 260 before that debris came off, was lucky. Rusty Wallace wasn't as lucky. He had to pit. His water had climbed to just over 240, and it was climbing. They could not take a chance.
Yeah, very frustrating.
So Rusty now a lap down in 36th place.
Because you bet you have 1 or 2 shots to do it. And if you can't get it off in a lap or 2, that water temperature goes up and spikes so fast that if you don't get it off on your own, you've got to come down pit lane.
Watching this race for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Casey Kane in 9, Elliott Sadler in 38, Jamie McMurray in 42. This all dropping 5 seconds behind leader Mark Martin. Caution is out. Caution for debris on the racetrack.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, it's going to take a while.
I believe the answer to that would be, Wally, everywhere.
Everywhere. Race to the paper chase.
Man, oh man.
Well, NASCAR looking and saying, all right, this is getting to be a problem here, so let's try and do something about it. The wind is blowing around so much. Might be a temporary fix, but we'll see. Rusty Wallace will get the lucky dog. He will come around the pace car and make up that lap lost.
Look at that piece of plastic.
It's like a balloon.
It's getting over the grill. It plugged the entire grill up.
Well, I think that's a good call for NASCAR to do that, because it does. It's just out of hand down there.
You see how much the wind is kicked up here. You were talking earlier, Wally, the flags had laid down and it was pretty quiet. Now look at it.
Yeah.
Somebody in the spotters tower over our head just lost a piece of paper that just came floating down in front of us and is heading towards the racetrack.
There he goes.
There it is.
That's today's sports page.
So a little wind kicking up here at California, and messing with some of the race cars where trash on the grills is concerned. Caution flag is out. This is the 5th one of the race, and this will probably be, it's take a couple minutes because they're going to try and clean this whole racetrack up with some of the big jet engines that they use as blow dryers on steroids, if you will, for a racetrack. Here's a pit road open.
And let me tell you that Ricky Rudd, I think during our last commercial, had a left rear tire blow. He had to make an unscheduled stop. He just got one of his laps back to be still in the 21 car. He was a couple of laps down.
Here come the leaders at lap 106. Jamie McMurray will be the first of the leaders to get to his stall. Marty?
Yeah, crew chief Donnie Wingo, Alan, emphatically telling the crew we have to get the grill clean. Got to get that piece of paper off the grill, and it is still attached. Actually, both sides. Now we see paper on both sides of Jamie McMurray's grill. His car a little tight. Half pound on left side tires, Matt.
Back on lap 96, Mark Martin said the car was neutral, didn't want any changes. Now he says it is starting to tighten up. He wants to just free it up just a tick. Today,
look at Joe Nemechek's windshield. They put tape on it to reduce the glare. Crew member J.D. Hilton did that. They'll also fix a loose race car with a wedge and an air pressure adjustment. Bill?
This will be a long stop for the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. They're a half second off the leader. He needs help in the center of the turns. They took a rubber out of the right rear, 2 rounds in the left rear, but he lost a lot of spots because it takes a while to get that rubber out of the rear spring.
Man, oh man, what a traffic jam they had at the end of pit road.
Here's the camera at the scoring line exiting pit road.
Elliott Sadler, the 38, takes the lead. Kurt Busch comes out 3rd. Jamie Nemechek, and then Casey Kane. Terry Labonte, he's in the hunt.
Yes, sir.
Now watch this. There'll be a whole,
and then the rest.
A lot of them come together there.
Terry Labonte may win 2 500-mile races on Labor Day, consecutive years.
In separate places.
Separate places.
Elliott Sadler, new leader here at the California Speedway. Under caution just past 200 miles in the race. NASCAR on NBC at the California Speedway, where the big cleanup is underway and has brought out the 5th caution flag of this race.
Just wondering how they're going to do it, and I'm glad they are picking it up physically, because that's the only way.
Check it out, going down the backstretch under the caution. Talked about the sun starting to set.
And Ricky's got sunglasses on.
He has sunglasses, but he's still trying to shade the sun so he can see down the backstretch. He doesn't have a lot of tape across the top of the windshield here as much as I thought he would have. Noticing Jeff Gordon's car this morning, his car was taped down to there.
And here's the view from onboard Tony Stewart's car. This is coming off turn 2 and beginning to head down that backstretch.
And it's not going to be pretty, folks, I'm telling you, because start driving into that setting sun, and pretty soon, this is what happens.
Yeah, now it's not that bad when you're actually driving the car. You can actually see, but it is bad.
Show you how we got through the first 200 miles of today's California Speedway race. Beautiful, hot, steamy afternoon in Southern California.
Start your engine!
And the King, Richard Petty, helping get the festivities underway before a crowd estimated at a little better than 100,000. Brian Vickers led from pole in the 25 car. Jeremy Mayfield moving up to take the lead from him at lap number 10. Head to lap 19. Vickers says, no thanks, I want it back. And the rookie back to the point. Trouble for J.J. Yaley in his Nextel Cup debut for Joe Gibbs. That became trouble for Brendan Gaughan in the 77. Both drivers okay, both drivers out of the race. Carl Edwards with a flat left front tire that brought out the caution flag. Brought the leaders to pit road except for about 7 drivers. 2 of them, Kurt Busch and Michael Waltrip.
They stayed out to get that track position, get them up front, and they swapped the lead, the 97 and the 15. And then on lap 72, Greg Whipple explodes a right rear tire coming off turn 4, just blew the rear off the car. Jeff Gordon also ran across a piece of the tire.
These guys do magic on body damage anymore during the pit stops.
And ahead to lap 80, Mark Martin went to the point in this race and opened up about a 5-second lead before the caution flag was put out. Martin motoring away from the field. Big story in the race, litter coming up off the racetrack as the wind has begun to swirl and covering these small grill openings on these cars, causing some to overheat. NASCAR putting out the caution to try and collect as much of that paper as they can at this point in the race and help the teams out to keep from overheating. Let's get some stories from pit road while we're under the yellow. Dave?
Alan picked up a little radio chatter from Kurt Busch a while back. He starts with a little bit of an idea of where he might be finding more grip on the track, and he ends with a solar moment.
I found out a trick. 3 and 4 is already in the shade up top. Clear all around, man. Find a trick over in 2, you'll be gold. A lot of people like scanning us. So far, it's needing comic relief in here. You feel silly, too, if you're staring at the arc of a weld for a while.
Staring at the arc of a weld, Alan. Even one more description of how hard it is to go down that backstretch and look into that sun. They were a little bit tight at the end of that run, so they did make a wedge and air pressure adjustment and picked up 3 spots on pit road. It was a good stop.
That is a good line. Look at the arc of a weld. That's really good.
Okay, so we're here 50 miles to the east of Hollywood, and I'm thinking ahead to next weekend's Rumble in Richmond, or what that race for those final positions might be next Saturday night, and I figured we'd take a Hollywood twist on it. What would be an appropriate name among these Best Picture winners for next Saturday night? Dancing with Wolves, Gladiators, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, or Gandhi, as in your championship chances are Gandhi. Give us a vote.
I can't vote, right?
No.
Oh.
Well, you can say it out loud later when we give the answer. You like that, Wally?
I got my pick.
Okay.
Yeah. We probably got the same pick this time.
This may be the one and only time.
One and only time, but I'll say what.
Rusty Wallace back on pit road.
And what they're doing, putting tape on the windshield, trying to block that sun as you go down the backstretch.
It's glare. It's almost like flipping your visor down on your passenger car. That's what they're doing on these cars. We don't have visors, so they add duct tape.
And, of course, talking about Richmond, next Saturday night, those final 10 drivers who will be in the race to the championship will be determined. Looking forward to it.